Imagine, you haven't heard from your daughter in days.
Oh,
Calls go unanswered.
okay.
Her usual online presence is gone,
Right.
and she's missed her regular Sunday routine.
Yeah.
You know that knot of worry in your gut?
Uh-huh.
It tightens with each passing hour.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
That was the chilling reality for Vicky Cook
Mm-hmm.
back in August of 2012 when her daughter Deanna went silent.
Oh, wow.
And as this deep dive into Deanna's case will reveal,
Okay.
that mother's intuition was tragically accurate.
So what makes this case so gripping
Well,
is that it really peels back the layers on a system
yeah.
that's supposed to protect us,
Yeah.
exposing the gaps and the failures
Huh?
that can have just devastating consequences.
Yeah.
We'll delve into the events leading up to Deanna's death,
Okay.
the harrowing evidence and the fight for justice that followed.
This isn't just a story about a crime.
Right.
It's a story about missed opportunities,
Mm-hmm.
systemic breakdowns,
Yeah.
and the ripple effects of a tragedy that could have perhaps been prevented.
Exactly. And it raises a lot of uncomfortable questions about how we as a society respond to domestic violence,
Yeah.
how we support the victims, and
Mm.
how we hold those in power accountable.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning.
All right.
It was a Sunday, August 19th, 2012.
Okay.
Vicky, along with Deanna's sister Carletha,
Mm-hmm.
and Deanna's two daughters, went to Deanna's house in Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
Driven by that growing sense of dread,
Yeah.
what they found there would set in motion a chain of events that would forever alter their lives.
So the scene at Deanna's house,
Yeah.
it was immediately unsettling.
Okay.
Water was flowing out from under the garage door,
Really?
a sign that something was very wrong.
Wow.
This wasn't just a simple welfare check. There
Right.
was a palpable sense of urgency and fear.
They tried everything to get inside,
Uh-huh.
the front door, the back gate,
Okay.
but everything was locked.
Oh, wow.
Desperate. They called the Dallas police for help. But what happened next is just baffling.
Oh, really?
So the responding officer's instructions to Vicky were, in a word, inadequate.
Wow.
He told her to check jails and hospitals
Really?
before officers could be dispatched to the house.
Oh, my gosh.
Now imagine the frustration and fear Vicky must have felt.
Yeah.
Every minute felt precious.
Right.
And here she was being told to jump through hoops.
That's unbelievable.
It's a stark reminder of how even that first point of contact, that initial call for help,
Yeah.
can be fraught with obstacles.
Absolutely. And it highlights the critical need for clear protocols and training, ensuring that everyone in the chain of response understands the gravity of potential domestic violence situations.
Faced with that inexplicable delay, Carletha took matters into her own hands.
Okay.
She kicked in the back door,
Oh, wow.
but the smell that hit them was overwhelming,
Really?
forcing her to retreat.
The details from the sources really paint a visceral picture of the scene.
Yeah.
The flowing water, the stench, the forced entry. It's awful. You can almost feel the tension and the mounting horror as they struggled to get inside.
Driven by sheer panic, Vicky waded through the ankle-deep water
Oh, my goodness.
that had flooded the house.
Wow.
The place was in complete disarray.
Yeah.
Furniture, overturned belongings, strewn everywhere.
Uh-huh.
A stark contrast to how Deanna normally kept her home.
So what's important to remember here
Yeah.
is that Vic already had a suspect in mind,
Okay.
Deanna's ex-husband, Del Vecchio.
Mm-hmm.
Their relationship was known to be turbulent,
Right.
marred by violence.
Yeah.
And there was a history of police involvement.
Vicky had witnessed the abuse firsthand and knew the danger Del Vecchio posed.
Oh, wow.
So this wasn't just a mother's intuition.
Right.
It was a mother's knowledge
Right.
born from seeing the pattern of abuse.
That context is crucial
Yeah.
because it really underscores the urgency that Vicky felt
Right.
and the frustration with the initial response from authorities.
The search for Deanna led them to her bedroom.
Okay.
The door was busted in. The room was trashed.
Uh-huh.
And the bathroom was just as bad.
Wow.
The toilet had been ripped off the floor.
Really?
And then the horrifying discovery,
Oh, my.
Vicky found Deanna lifeless, face down in the water-filled bathtub.
This grim discovery raises a crucial question.
What's that?
How often are the signs of domestic abuse overlooked or dismissed?
Yeah.
Deanna's family knew the danger she was in,
Right.
but getting the authorities to recognize and respond to that danger
Mm-hmm.
proved to be a tragic hurdle.
Yeah, a tragic hurdle indeed.
Yeah.
So the scene at Deanna's house was chaotic.
Yeah.
Her lifeless body, the state of the house, the flowing water.
Right.
It all pointed to a violent struggle.
Uh-huh.
The police finally taking the situation seriously were now on the scene.
What's striking is how Vicky immediately pointed the finger at Del Vecchio.
Right.
She wasn't just grieving. She was advocating for her daughter, pushing the police toward the person she believed was responsible.
And it turns out Vicky had actually spoken to Del Vecchio while she was frantically searching for Deanna,
Okay.
both the night before and earlier that morning.
Wow.
He had given her two slightly different accounts of when he had last been in contact with Deanna.
Uh-huh.
He claimed to have even sent people to check on her.
Really?
And she didn't answer her phone. But Vicky wasn't buying it.
Those inconsistencies, the attempts to appear concerned while distancing himself from Deanna's neighborhood, suggest a possible attempt to create a fabricated alibi.
Wow.
It's a pattern we often see in cases like this.
Right. And those inconsistencies were about to become even more glaring.
Okay.
A neighbor had seen Del Vecchio in Deanna's backyard just a few days earlier. And even Deanna's mail carrier had seen them together the morning of August 17th.
These eyewitness accounts are crucial.
Yeah.
They really chip away at the suspect's narrative, building a timeline that contradicts his claims.
Right.
It reinforces the importance of thorough investigative work, canvassing the neighborhood, speaking to witnesses, gathering all the pieces of the puzzle.
Meanwhile, back at Deanna's house, investigators were uncovering more unsettling details.
Yeah.
The deadbolt on Deanna's bedroom door was locked from the inside.
Okay.
But the damage to the door suggested it had been locked after being forced open.
That detail raises questions about the sequence of events.
Right.
Was Deanna trying to lock the door while someone was breaking in?
Yeah.
Or was the lock simply dislodged during a struggle? It adds another layer of complexity to an already perplexing scene.
And then the investigation took a dramatic turn.
Right.
Del Vecchio was found at his stepfather's house and arrested on outstanding warrants.
Okay.
But the most damning evidence against him was about to come to light.
What's that?
2 chilling 911 calls
Oh, wow.
that Deanna had made in the days before her death.
Those 911 calls are the heart of this case.
Right.
They offer a raw, unfiltered account of the events as they unfolded, capturing Deanna's fear. Yeah.
Her desperate pleas for help, and the brutal reality of the attack.
The first call was made on August 16th.
Okay.
3 days before Deanna's body was found. She reported Del Vecchio lurking in the park across from her house.
Really?
And said she was afraid he would break in. She even mentioned previous incidents of violence.
Wow.
And her unsuccessful attempts to get a restraining order.
Oh, no.
It's clear from that call that she felt vulnerable and threatened.
That first call highlights the cyclical nature of domestic violence.
Yeah.
Deanna was trying to protect herself, to reach out for help.
Right.
But the systems seemed to be failing her.
Yeah.
The restraining order process, the police response to previous incidents, it all points to a pattern of missed opportunities to intervene.
And then the next day, on August 17th, at 10:52 a.m.,
Right.
Deanna called 911 again. This time the call was filled with screaming.
Oh, God.
The sound of dogs barking.
And Deanna pleading with a man whom she called Red to stop.
The terror in Deanna's voice is palpable.
It is.
You can hear the urgency, the desperation, and it's deeply unsettling.
It is.
The listener is transported to that moment, experiencing the raw fear that Deanna must have felt.
The 911 operator kept asking Deanna for her address.
Okay.
But she couldn't give it.
Right.
Clearly afraid that her attacker would realize she was on the phone with 911.
Deanna's inability to speak openly highlights a challenge inherent in responding to domestic violence calls.
Yeah.
Victims are often trapped in situations where even asking for help can put them in greater danger.
At some point during the call, Deanna starts calling her attacker Del Vecchio.
Okay.
He can be heard threatening to kill her.
Oh, my God.
Then there's a struggle, the sound of splashing water, choking, and then after about 8.5 minutes, silence.
That silence is chilling.
It really is.
You're left wondering what happened in those moments. How the struggle ended and what led to that terrifying quiet.
It's awful.
It speaks volumes about the brutality of the attack.
Yeah.
And the vulnerability of the victim.
The operator was eventually able to trace the call and get an address.
Okay.
She called back twice, but no one answered.
Wow.
You would think with a call as disturbing as that one,
right,
the police response would have been immediate and forceful.
Sadly, that was not the case.
Wow.
This is where we see another critical series of errors that had devastating consequences.
Yeah. It took the police an unbelievable 50 minutes to get to Deanna's house.
Mm.
And during that time, they made stops for a false burglary alarm.
Oh, gosh.
And even a quick trip to 7-Eleven.
Are you serious?
I mean, how can that be justified?
The problem wasn't just the delay.
Right,
It
yeah.
was the apparent lack of urgency.
Yeah.
It seems the dispatch information wasn't effectively communicated to the responding officers. The gravity of the situation, the clear signs of an assault in progress, none of that seemed to be properly conveyed.
When the officers finally did arrive, they reported knocking on the door,
Okay.
walking around the house but not seeing anything suspicious.
Wow.
They even called Deanna's phone, but she, of course, didn't answer.
Right.
So they left.
This raises serious questions about police procedures and training.
It does.
Why weren't they more thorough?
Ah,
Why didn't they consider the possibility of forced entry? Given the nature of the 911 call and the history of violence associated with that address.
This complete lack of urgency,
Yeah.
the failure to recognize the potential gravity of the situation, it's just infuriating.
This case underscores the critical need for law enforcement agencies to prioritize domestic violence calls.
Right.
Officers need to be adequately trained to recognize the signs, to respond appropriately, even when a victim may not be able to explicitly ask for help.
The public outcry in Dallas was immediate and intense.
Yeah.
People were horrified by how the police department had handled the case. The department, in response to the public pressure,
Right.
announced a comprehensive review of their procedures.
That public pressure, the media scrutiny, it played a crucial role in forcing the department to confront its shortcomings and implement much-needed changes.
Right.
It's a reminder that public awareness and advocacy can be powerful forces for change.
And those changes did come, though, tragically too late for Deanna.
Right.
They updated their 911 call classification system,
Okay.
prioritizing calls involving death or serious bodily injury. It makes you wonder what was considered higher priority before.
It's a question worth asking.
Right.
What were the criteria that led to a call like Deanna's with such clear evidence of violence and threats to be treated with so little urgency?
Right.
What systemic factors contributed to this tragic outcome?
The 911 operator who took Deanna's second call was suspended,
Okay.
and the officer who gave Vicky those incorrect instructions about checking jails and hospitals was fired. But those two officers who took their sweet time getting to Deanna's house,
Right.
well, there's no record of them facing any disciplinary action.
This disparity in accountability is often what fuels public outrage in cases like this.
Yeah.
Why were some held responsible,
Right.
while others, seemingly equally culpable in the outcome, faced no consequences?
Yeah.
It raises questions about fairness, transparency, and whether the system is truly designed to learn from its mistakes.
And then there's the autopsy.
Okay.
It revealed that Deanna's cause of death was drowning. Coupled with other injuries consistent with homicidal violence, the medical examiner determined she likely died on August 17th,
Right.
the same day she made that horrifying 911 call.
The medical examiner's findings are key
Yeah.
because they confirm that Deanna's death was not an accident.
Right.
That 911 call, the chilling record of the attack, played a crucial role in classifying the death as a homicide.
But there was another detail that would later become a point of contention during Davicio's trial.
Okay.
The autopsy also showed that Deanna had PCP and alcohol in her system at the time of her death.
It's important to note that while the presence of drugs or alcohol is relevant to the overall picture,
Right.
it doesn't negate the violence that ultimately ended her life.
Yeah.
It's a tragic fact that substance use can sometimes make individuals more vulnerable to abuse.
Right.
But it never excuses the actions of the abuser.
Exactly. It feels like a way to shift blame onto the victim,
Yeah.
to suggest that her past struggles somehow justify the violence she endured.
It's a common and harmful tactic in domestic violence cases. Instead of holding the abuser accountable, there's an attempt to discredit the victim, to focus on their perceived flaws or choices,
Right.
rather than the actions of the perpetrator.
Initially, Delvicio's DNA wasn't found under Deanna's fingernails,
Okay.
but a more sensitive test later revealed a partial sample. They couldn't rule him out. And the sexual assault kit also revealed DNA from two other unidentified men.
That unidentified DNA adds a layer of complexity.
Right.
But it's vital to remember that its presence doesn't diminish the evidence pointing to Delvicio's involvement.
Yeah.
We have the 911 call.
Right.
We have the history of abuse.
Mm-hmm.
We have his confirmed presence at the scene.
Right. It feels like a distraction.
Yeah.
A way to cast doubt where there really shouldn't be any.
Mm-hmm.
The evidence, especially that 911 call,
Right.
clearly points to Delvicio as the perpetrator.
Agreed. It's a reminder that in these cases, we need to focus on the totality of the evidence, not get sidetracked by details that don't fundamentally alter the narrative.
Delvicio was charged with murder.
Okay.
And Deanna's story became a rallying cry in Dallas for changes in how domestic violence cases are handled.
Right.
But for Deanna's family, the fight for justice was far from over. They were determined to hold not just Delvicio accountable, but the institutions they believed had failed their daughter.
This case exemplifies how justice is a multifaceted pursuit.
Yeah.
It's not just about securing a criminal conviction. It's also about holding the systems and individuals in power accountable for their failures.
Right.
For the ways they may have contributed to a preventable tragedy.
So Deanna's death wasn't just a personal tragedy for her family.
Right.
It became a public call for accountability. Vicki Cook, determined to see justice served on multiple fronts, decided to take legal action.
And that legal action wasn't just aimed at Delvicio.
Right.
It targeted a wider circle of entities that Vicki believed shared responsibility for Deanna's death.
So who did she sue?
Well, she filed a lawsuit against the city of Dallas.
Wow.
The Dallas Police Department, the 911 call taker, the dispatcher, the supervisor, the 2 responding officers, and even tech giants, Samsung and T-Mobile.
It was a sweeping lawsuit.
Yeah.
A bold statement that Deanna's death wouldn't be ignored or dismissed.
Right.
She was seeking justice, not just for her daughter, but for all victims of domestic violence who had been failed by the very systems meant to protect them.
What's significant about this lawsuit is its focus on systemic failures.
Okay.
Vicki argued that the city and the police department hadn't implemented adequate policies and procedures to protect Deanna's constitutional rights.
Right.
She pointed to the delayed police response, the mishandling of the 911 call, and the lack of training and resources dedicated to handling domestic violence cases effectively.
It was a direct challenge to the way these institutions operated. An attempt to expose the cracks in the system that had allowed this tragedy to happen.
Precisely. And she didn't stop there.
What else?
The lawsuit also called out the limitations of the 911 system at the time.
Okay.
Remember, Deanna had called from her cell phone?
Right.
And it took the call taker almost 10 minutes to get a location and dispatch officers.
Yeah.
This delay was partly due to technological limitations, which is why Samsung and T-Mobile were also named in the suit.
It's a sobering reminder that even technology, which we often rely on in emergencies, can have its shortcomings.
Yeah.
And those shortcomings can have devastating consequences.
Right, as we saw in Deanna's case.
This technological aspect is often overlooked.
It is.
But it's crucial.
Yeah.
The 911 system was, and in many places still is, struggling to adapt to the widespread use of cell phones. The inability to quickly and accurately locate a caller can mean the difference between life and death.
Absolutely.
Especially in time-sensitive situations like a domestic violence incident. It's heartbreaking to think about those lost minutes.
Yeah.
The possibility that if technology had been able to pinpoint Deanna's location sooner, the outcome might have been different.
It's a question that haunts this case.
Yeah.
What if?
What if?
What if the police had arrived sooner?
Right.
What if the 911 call had been handled differently?
Yeah.
What if the technology had been more advanced? These questions highlight the need for constant improvement, for learning from tragedies like Deanna's to prevent future failures.
While Vicki was fighting for accountability through the lawsuit, Delvicio's criminal trial finally began in May 2015.
Right.
The prosecution presented a strong case, focusing on that chilling 911 call, Deanna's documented history of abuse at the hands of Delvicio, and the physical evidence found at the crime scene.
That 911 call was undoubtedly the most powerful piece of evidence.
Yeah.
It provided a direct, unfiltered account of the attack.
Right.
Deanna's cries for help, Delvicio's threats, the sounds of the struggle. It all painted a vivid and horrifying picture for the jury.
The defense, however, took a different approach.
Okay.
One that was both controversial and, frankly, deeply unsettling.
Oh, really?
They argued that Deanna's death wasn't murder, but an accident.
Their claim was that a combination of PCP, stress, and pre-existing mental health conditions had led to Deanna's death. They even went so far as to suggest that she had hallucinated the entire attack.
It was a tactic that felt like a blatant attempt to shift blame onto the victim.
Yeah.
To make her somehow responsible for her own death.
This defense strategy, though ultimately unsuccessful, raises critical issues about how mental health and substance use are often used in legal cases, particularly those involving violence against women.
Yeah.
There's a danger of shifting the focus away from the abuser's actions and onto the victim's perceived vulnerabilities.
It's as if they were trying to create a narrative where Deanna's past struggles somehow justified or excused the violence she endured.
It's a troubling trend.
It is.
Instead of holding the abuser accountable, there's an attempt to discredit the victim, to sow doubt about their credibility and minimize the severity of the abuse.
That's awful.
It's a way of deflecting responsibility and perpetuating a culture of silence and victim blaming.
The defense also tried to discredit the 911 call itself.
Really?
Arguing that the sounds of splashing water could have been something else entirely. They even brought in a psychologist who testified that she couldn't hear any splashing on the recording.
Wow.
But the physical evidence contradicted this claim.
Right.
Water was literally pouring out of the house when Deanna's family arrived.
That attempt to dismiss the 911 call underscores the importance of relying on objective evidence and unbiased forensic analysis.
Yeah.
The interpretation of evidence should be based on scientific rigor, not on convenient narratives that fit a particular agenda.
The defense also pointed to the unidentified male DNA found in Deanna's sexual assault kit, implying that other individuals might have been involved in her death, but only one male voice was heard on the 911 recording. A voice that Deanna herself identified as Delvicio's.
Focusing on the unidentified DNA, while understandable in a thorough investigation, felt like an attempt to create reasonable doubt where there really wasn't any. The 911 call, the history of abuse, Delvicio's presence at the scene, all of that evidence pointed to him as the perpetrator.
The jury ultimately saw through the defense's tactics. They found Delvicio guilty of murder. And sentenced him to 85 years in prison.
Wow.
It was a victory for Deanna's family, a validation of their fight for justice, but the legal battle wasn't over. They still had the lawsuit against the city and the other entities to contend with.
This is where we see the complexity of seeking justice. Securing a criminal conviction is one aspect. But holding the institutions accountable for their failures, for the ways they may have contributed to the tragedy, is another battle entirely.
Unfortunately, Vicky Cook's lawsuit faced a series of setbacks. The judge dismissed the case. And her appeals were unsuccessful.
Really?
The city of Dallas spent over $350,000 fighting the lawsuit rather than settling.
This is a pattern we often see in cases involving police misconduct or negligence. Cities and municipalities prioritize protecting their own interests, even when it means denying justice to victims and their families. It raises serious questions about where their priorities lie and how committed they truly are to transparency and accountability.
Deanna Cook's story is a tragic reminder of the devastating consequences of domestic violence. It's a story that demands we ask tough questions about how we protect the vulnerable, how we hold institutions accountable, and how we ensure that no one's cries for help go unanswered.
Deanna's case forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about our society.
It does.
It challenges us to demand better from our institutions. To advocate for policies and procedures that prioritize the safety and well-being of all citizens. It pushes us to create a world where everyone feels safe and protected.
Deanna Cook deserves so much better.
She did.
Her story must serve as a catalyst for change, a reminder that we all have a role to play in preventing domestic violence.
Absolutely.
And ensuring that those who seek help are met with compassion, swift action, and unwavering support.
This deep dive has taken us through a complex and heartbreaking case.
It has.
But amidst the tragedy, there's hope.
I agree.
By understanding Deanna's story, by learning from the mistakes that were made, we can create a future where tragedies like this are prevented and where every voice calling for help is heard.